Hello and welcome to the Warhammer Lady. Today I'll be going through the last part of the Dark Angels HQ section, the non-named characters. I won't divide them as neatly as I did the first time because I'm going to talk on and off about them and I'm also going to compare them, so I think that would just confuse you. I'm going to start off with the Chaplain and the Interrogator Chaplain. They're the very same entry. Basically it means that you have two types of chaplains. The first one, the Chaplain, has a stat line of Weapon Skill 5, Ballistic Skill 4, Strength 4, Toughness 4, Wounds 2, Initiative 4, Attacks 2, Leadership 10, and a 3+ save. He's a total of 90 points, but if you pay another 20, you can buy an Interrogator Chaplain. And he has 1 extra Ballistic Skill, 1 extra Wound, 1 extra Initiative, and 1 extra Attack. And that together with the fact that he's only the one who has Inner Circle out of those two, that's what you pay for. They're both independent character, they both have the Sealot special rule. For gear they have Power Armor, a Bolt Pistol, Crucius Arcanum, Grenades, and a Rosarius. I think that for 90 points they're very cheap HQs, and they're also fairly good in close combat, for example. They can buff their army, giving them hatred, so you can make for a very powerful assault the first time you charge. Also, they have a power mold, so I mean they can take on a challenge, maybe not with a super awesome warlord, but at least a tiny HQ. So they're good on their own. If you want to be even cheaper, you can take the Librarian for 65 points. He has the same stat line as a Chaplain. He's also an independent character with the Inner Circle special rule, and he is a Psyker of Mastery level 1. And he can choose powers from the disciplines Divination, Pyromancy, Telepathy, or Telekinesis. For war gear, he has Power Armor, Bolt Pistol, Force Weapon, 2 types of grenades of course, and a Psychic Hood. I think that this is a really fun HQ, he's one of my favorites. He's cheap and I can choose to be versatile with him if I want to. Due to all of his different disciplines, I can choose him as a ranged type of guy. He can have a nice ranged psychic power. He can be good in close combat if I activate his Force Sword, and also he's just a buffer if I wish. I could just choose to make my entire unit have 1 better in 1 stat. So I think it's very useful and he's very cheap. Then there's the Company Master. He looks like this. He has the same stat line as an Interrogator Chaplain, though he has 1 better for weapon skill because he's a little more badass in close combat. He's naturally also an independent character with the Inner Circle special rule. He has Power Armor, a Bolt Pistol, Chainsword, Frag Grenades, Crack Grenades, and an Iron Halo. He's also just 90 points, and he's definitely an okay-ish close combat hero. HQ. I don't think I would just field him with a Chainsword, I would probably upgrade him. And this is the best part about these 4 HQs. They're fairly cheap, and you can choose to upgrade them with the help of the Dark Angels War Gear list. I'm gonna get to that and show you how it looks like. No, that's not it. There we go. This is what it looks like. And from here you can choose chapter relics, and all 4 HQs except for the Chaplain can have relics. You can also choose special issue war gear, for example jump packs and Space Marine bikes and combat shields and so forth. The only one out of those 4 that can have a bike is the Company Master, and it's fairly obvious since the Raven Wing only had a Company Master. It would look really weird if another Company Master just swooped in on the battlefield on a bike. So yeah, that's explainable. Also, you can choose to upgrade the Company Master, the Librarian, and the Interrogator Chaplain with Terminator armor, and this will be important later on. Now for each HQ, you can choose to include a Tech Marine. These are also counted as HQs, but you can take a Tech Marine if you have another Tech Marine, or a Command Squad for that matter, just ordinary HQs. The Tech Marine has Artificer armor. He has a Bolt Pistol, a Servo Arm, Frag Grenades, and Crack Grenades. He has a special rule, and they shall know no fear, Grim Resolve, and independent character, of course. He also has bolster defenses, which means that he can take one piece of terrain before the battle begins and say that this piece of terrain has one extra cover save. Also, he has Blessing of the Omnissiah, which, if you don't upgrade him at all, just his base 50 points, he can repair a hull point on a vehicle on a 5+ if he stands in base contact or if he's embarked in that vehicle. If you upgrade him with a servo harness, you get a +1 modifier on your roll. And also you can choose to buy servitors. It's this tiny entry here. It's another 10 points per servitor. And then for each servitor you have in that unit, you get a +1 modifier. So basically you can make him as good as repairing a hull point on a 2+. Still, I don't think I will take a Tech Marine in my army ever, because I think he's a bit too expensive. It's almost 100 points to be able to repair a hull point on a 2+, and that means I have to be nearby vehicles all the time. I can't just follow one around and hope that my opponents will shoot for that one. I have to follow all of them around. So basically I have to choose a dedicated transport rhino for a troop, and I have to put him in that and be able to just moving along the battlefield. It will take time, and I will probably not use up his points, so to speak. And then last but not least, there's the command squads. Now we'll go to the back of the book because they're more orderly fashion back here. Here they are. And also the next page. First up, there's the command squad. This includes 5 veterans. Then there's the Deathwing command squad, included 5 Deathwing Terminators, and the Ravenwing command squad, which includes 3 Ravenwing Black Knights. And this is the same as for the Tech Marine. For each ordinary HQ you choose, you can have 1 of these. But there are special conditions. For an ordinary command squad, you just need an HQ. And for a Deathwing command squad, you need an HQ with a Terminator armor. And here's where the upgrades for the HQs come in. For example, you can have a company master with Terminator armor, and then he can include a Deathwing command squad. However, you can never have your company master on a bike. Thus, you can never take a Ravenwing command squad, because to do this you need an HQ on a bike. However, a cheap librarian on a bike will mean that you can actually include a Ravenwing command squad. They're basically the same point cost as they would be if I were to choose, say, an ordinary unit of 3 Ravenwing Black Knights. What's special about them is that they don't take up a force organization slot. It's the same for the Tech Marine, I forgot to mention that. And I think this is the most brilliant part about the entire codex, because this means that if I want a Ravenwing army, I can choose to field Samael, or on a game of, say, 2000 points, Samael and a librarian on a bike. And I can actually choose 2 Ravenwing command squads that won't take up a fast attack slot. So I don't have to worry about using up all of my 6 fast attack slots and not being able to field what I want, because I have 8 slots now, basically. And I think this is really brilliant. And apart from that, of course, the command squad are a little bit different than the ordinary ones. For example, all of the command squad can have different standards. They can also choose to upgrade their veteran into a company champion. This is fairly cheap for the Deathwing command squad. It only costs 5 points. And when upgrading to a champion for any of the squads, then you get a weapon. For the command squad and the Ravenwing command squad, you get the Blade of Caliban. And for the Deathwing command squad, you get the Halberd of Caliban. I can read you one of the stats, if I can find it. No. Disappeared. Oh, Blade of Caliban. Strength +1, AP 3, melee unwieldy. And Halberd of Caliban, strength +2, AP 2, melee, Bane of the Traitor, and 2-handed. So basically there are really nice close combat weapons for not many points at all. Also, all of the units, well, the command units, can choose to include an apothecary. And this is the only way to include an apothecary into this army. So yeah, I really like this part of the codex. I like that I am able to choose to play a Deathwing army or a Ravenwing army if I wish, without having to worry that the army won't be good enough. So yeah, I think this is definitely brilliant. I love the fact that so far in this entire HQ section, none of the HQs have been ridiculously expensive or ridiculously cheap. They're actually balanced, and basically you pay for what you get. And I also don't look through this codex and think, oh, I have to have this HQ or otherwise my army would be a total loss. I can take whichever HQ I want and those will be good. And I really like that. I also like the fact that they have loads of cheap HQs, so that I can choose to have a secondary cheap HQ if I wish, in a bigger army. So yeah, I think they really did a really good job with the HQs in this codex, and I am really looking forward to fielding a Ravenwing army. Next time, I will talk about the troops and their dedicated transports, so stay tuned. Bye!